Good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome back to the Metropolitan Virtual Playhouse for the Wednesday Alternative. Tonight, we're excited to be going back to Zero and welcoming back a good friend of the Metropolitan, Zero Boy, for ZerO'rama, a long-anticipated return to our virtual space with a St. Patrick's celebration. Zero Boy's COVID Cabaret, which started as an experiment and a way to keep us connected and entertained while we awaited the return of live theater, took on a life of its own. Please join me in welcoming entertainer, vocal acrobat, and global human, Zero Boy.
Welcome to ZNN. Here on the 13th floor of ZNN Studios, we present to you our first experiment in visual and sound.
Tired of COVID all the time? We intend to bring you incredible material here at ZNN, including Emperor Zing daily briefings from the all-powerful destroyer of the universe. Because at ZNN, we are always making sure that you are entertained.
To influence your mind.
Wow! With incredibles. All right, who's smoking that green stuff again? CNN covers the whole world. We're getting all fired up here at CNN. That's right. Fire up! Woohoo! Yes, we've got big things planned for the future. You're probably wondering, how do we get through this crisis? Well, that's by supporting the ZNN channel. We've brought all of our records here to ZNN. Information on COVID, aliens,
hello! Welcome, people of Rome, friends, lovers, countrymen. It's the middle of a riot here at the Capitol by the maggotites. You know, the followers of Trampus Magamus. It seems that he does not believe in elections. He thinks that he should be emperor, throws the republic to the toilet, and using the rhetoric of the fools, he speaks of the hoi polloi, or the rabble, or the barbarians, and they hence attack us here in the Capitol. I have always, as a senator, believed that we should always be equal to one man with property to one man with a vote. Otherwise, the hoi polloi, as you can see, will believe that they should take it into their head to, it's time to go!
Good evening and welcome from ZNN. As everyone knows, Donald Trump is not responsible for any crimes. Emoluments clause, out the window. Having a political rally at the White House, completely illegal. Who cares? And of course, trying to overthrow the United States government. Since when is Donald Trump responsible for the actions of those who follow him when he tells them to storm the Capitol? John Dillinger did not rob the banks that he is responsible for robbing because he was not in the banks when he was arrested. Right? The dictator has fled the Capitol, leaving his followers empty, calling for unity. But I am reminded of Seneca the Younger's words. Be wary of a man who urges an action in which he himself incurs no risk.
It's me, UkelaZ. And after I lost my job at the naturopathic latte house, I ended up having to be locked down during COVID. I can teach you how to play the ukulele.
Harold!
Mom, I'm recording! First we start with the C chord.
Turn it down! Turn it down!
Mom! And then amp it up a little bit.
Harold, turn it down! Turn it down! Turn it down!
And it's that simple. Tune in next week where we learn a little bit about jazz fusion. Mom! Smash that subscribe button. Bam!
Some of you called me crazy. You never took me seriously. Some of you said it could not be done. Isn't it beautiful? This neutron atomizer. Things getting a little hot down there. And I control the universe.
Hey, everybody. Are you having a good holiday? Ooh, let's light up the fire. Woohoo! Ow! Ow! Wee! Oh!
Good afternoon and welcome to ZNN's Dealing with COVID, a special report on COVID in New York City. Today we interview Mr. Michael Saab, an artist also known as Mr. Social Distance. Please welcome to ZNN, Mr. Social Distance. You don't mind if I call you Mr. Social Distance, do you, Mike?
Hey, Zero. Yeah, you can call me Mr. Social Distance for short. That's fine.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Let's bounce right to it and ask the question that's on everybody's mind. What's it like being a bubble man during COVID, and how has COVID been for you?
I can't complain, although I do feel slightly isolated. I don't always feel so bubbly. I've gone through the 4 stages of COVID, which are denial, junk food, doom scrolling, and no pants. And I have to slow down so I don't hyperventilate.
The big question on a lot of the people's mind is, are you in a relationship, and what has dating been like for you?
No, I'm not dating at the moment. As you can imagine, I'm keeping my distance. However, I am reaching out to people in my support bubbles. Did you know that experts suggest that you should cap your support bubbles at 10 people or fewer? However, people do like to disagree with the experts. In this particular bubble, there's only room for 1.
What does Mr. Social Distance think about a vaccine?
I'm not too sure about a vaccine. You know, I have this thing with needles, although I think it'll be great, and it'll be nice to get a vaccine because I'm looking forward to getting out and getting some fresh air.
It's been a real pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Social Distance.
Thank you, Zero, for having me. It's great to be on your show. As you can imagine, it gets a little bit lonely in here.
Stay tuned here at ZNN.
Hey, it's me, Major Zero of the Space Force. And when I'm not out probing Uranus, I'm on ZNN.
Woohoo! Hee Hi! Hey! Have you got your Christmas present? Oh! La 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 la! Psychedelic elf on a shelf! Bing!
In the words of the wise Socrates, if a man is proud of his wealth, he should not be praised until it is known how he employs it.
Good evening. My name is J0 from ZNN. You're probably wondering, when will my next check come in? Will I be able to pay the rent? Do I have enough food on the table? Well, today we have two bastions of the financial establishment here to talk about the world economic growth. Please welcome Mr. Henry S. Potter of the Potter, Scrooge & Marley banking investment firm and Mr. John Maynard, a representative from the East Virginia legislature. Welcome, gentlemen, to ZNN.
Thank you for bringing me on your show. It's good to have other alternative opinions. Opinions that most Americans believe in.
Pleased to be here.
Well, it's the end of the year, and the world is reeling due to COVID-19. Gentlemen, how do you see the future of the world economy?
Well, I see dark clouds on the immediate horizon. We've been horribly mismanaged now for not just the last 4 years, but moreover for decades before that. And whereas maybe the long-term future for us all is a bit better, I think in the short run, we got to get busy on this, or else it's going to be tough.
Mr. Potter, how do you see the future of the world economy after COVID-19?
The future is looking bright, as long as those who have this little flu get back to work.
What plans do you have to fix the economy?
Much better plans than my communist friend on the other side of the screen. Our plans are to make people work, whereas our communist friend here would have everybody blowing away with the wind, giving money away to the garlic eaters.
This man is a one-trick pony. Get back to work. Get back to work.
This working at home nonsense, actually, it's quite benefit to us. We don't have to...
Man, we suffer from an incredible imbalance of wealth, and we also are living in delusions where a whole bunch of people think that they're hardworking when they're actually not, and a whole bunch of other people who are actually hardworking are accused of being deadbeats and sloth and all.
Has the Trump presidency helped or hindered the economy?
Thank goodness for a man like Donald Trump. He understands what us businessmen are going through. His empathy for us and business has shown a great moral rectitude that he seemingly did not have originally when I met him. But after Epstein introduced me to him, it was clear we were dealing with a straight shooter.
Round where I come from, we got this phrase we call certain people scumbags. All right. Well, America has become overrun by scumbags, and what the average American needs to do is wake up and get rid of these scumbags.
This fellow here, Maynard, why don't you just call him George Bailey? Look what happened to his bank. No one remembers it, not here in Pottersville.
Are you out of your mind? Sure, they'll tout you your numbers and your stock market numbers and all this. Let me tell you what's going on the ground out there. With interest rates basically at zero, no community bank can hold a loan on their books anymore. Everyone's refining, but they're refining and turning them into securities and putting the little chit seats up on the stock market. The income of a community bank in 2020 stayed steady, but only because of service fees for sending their hard-earned assets and local lands notes up into the stock market, which created an artificially high stock market and the impression that the economy is doing good, but we're actually hollowing out from the inside.
Well, Mr. Potter, then what sector of the economy do you see growing?
I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to invest in strong capitals, such as banking, automobiles, energy. Anything that begins with E is good.
Mr. Maynard, what will be the difference between Main Street versus Wall Street?
Well, that depends on all of us, We just continue on as we're going. It's going to be very bad for Main Street, very good for Wall Street.
Main Street is filled with a bunch of loafing garlic eaters and other undesirables, whereas Wall Street is filled with those who are truly American. No socialists there in Wall Street. No one looking for a handout in the midst of a pandemic.
As we wrap this up, we wonder, what words of encouragement do you have for the American people? Mr. Potter.
Thank you for this wonderful interview.
Mr. Maynard, what do you have to say to the American people?
Learn some economics, for Christ's sake, and some science.
This has been a ZNN Special Economic Report with Mr. John Maynard of the East Virginia Legislature and Mr. Henry S. Potter of Potter, Scrooge & Marley Investment. Stay tuned for our next upcoming special, ZNN's look at conspiracy theories. QAnon or cuckoo crazy.
To your
I don't know.
home, and it is
Who let you
entitled
into this?
Animals
Who let you
in
in here?
Heaven.
Hey,
Poor
get out of
people
here.
send
We have a
us
press
some very,
conference
very
coming up.
special
Oh,
books. Well, I see
I feel the
Fido in
ointment
heaven.
in my
Pulling
brain
noses at the pearly
purling.
gates.
Get out of
All
here!
of us
Get
who
out of
have
here!
Animals as pets. You know, the joy that they brought to our lives.
We will show a pattern of evidence that there is corruption, corruption. We will show a pattern that they came from illegal immigrants, illegal aliens who flew in from the star system Tabuku and were allowed to vote. We can show all of these patterns because they're Democrats. Led by communists, Joseph Stalin was taken out of the grave and became Joe Stalin Biden. We have Kamala Commissar Harris. It's terrible what they're doing.
La 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 la. Oh, watch out! Look, it's Lorenzo, and it's his first holiday season. Woohoo! Happy holiday! I'm sending my love to you, Lorenzo, who I also known as Rocco. Hey, happy holidays! Big love from Mom, Dad, Aunt, and Grandma. Oh, for you. Oh, I'm working on that toy. Gotta get back to work. Whoa!
Hey, how you doing? My name is Johnny Z, and today I'm going to talk about a film called Where the Sidewalk Ends. It's a terse film noir, directed by Otto Preminger and written by Ben Hecht.
Where the Sidewalk Ends.
The film was released in the year 1950, 2 years after my ultimate demise, but that's a whole different story. In the opening scenes of the film, we see Inspector Foley haranguing Detective Dixon about the 12 assault complaints in the last 30 days against him.
You don't hate hoodlums. You like to beat them up. You get fun out of it. You like to read about yourself in the newspapers as the tough cop who isn't afraid to wade in anywhere. Your job is to detect criminals, not punish them.
But you know, he's a good cop with a heart of gold. Meet UkelaZ, played by Gary Marshall. Hey, he's the boss of this floating crap game. Let's talk about these three right here. We'll start with Morgan Taylor. What a looker, huh? She's played by Gene Tierney. Now, her estranged husband is this guy, Ken Payne. And he's used her to lure this rich Texas guy to UkelaZ's crap game where he's winning big.
Dice joint, huh?
Yeah, a floater.
What's his name?
Morrison, big barracuda.
Mr. Morrison was brought here by a fellow named Ken Payne, sort of an acquaintance of mine. There was a girl with him. I didn't quite get her name. A Morgan something.
I just love the beautiful lighting and atmospheric qualities of this film. The cinematography is gorgeous and grandiose. Here we have the most beautiful setting in the world, New York City, my hometown. Here on Pike Street with the Manhattan Bridge right in the background. This movie has a lot of twists and turns. Dixon tells Payne that he's under arrest and they're heading downtown. Payne resists. Boom! Bap! All right, come on, get up. What does he try to do? He tries to cover it up, naturally. This nightmare will get worse and worse as Dixon tries to cover up his crime. It will involve a whole bunch of mishigas between the neighbors, the police, Morgan, her dad, and him trying to muscle in on the dead man's wife.
You'd better go.
Because you're a sucker for wrong guys. Like Ken and me.
Does she forgive him for killing her husband? You're gonna have to find out by checking out Where the Sidewalk Ends.
For those who may not care about all of the other citizens of Rome, I say, all cruelty springs from weakness.
Hello, citizens of Pottersville. Haven't paid your rent or taxes recently? Complaining about a lack of a vaccine? Why, we've got plenty of police officers amble you back to work, you freeloaders. Merry Christmas from the Scrooge Para Banking Establishment. We offer good loans for Christmas, bankruptcy proceedings, and of course, Merry Christmas! Barely in jail!
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Publius Nulla! No, he would never lie. Not Trampus Maximus and that great brain where things are rattling around inside. No. I, Publius Nulla, condemn the actions of the Trampus Maximus followers, the Maggotites, in their brazen attack to try to overthrow the Republic for their leader, for those senators who would then turn their backs upon justice and decry that, oh, lo and behold, it's not that bad. Well, then I say perhaps you have a dagger hidden underneath to destroy the Republic with. Obviously, there must be a scandal or a conspiracy against Trampus Maximus and his wonderful followers, who have taken upon themselves to attack the capital to replace the Republic with an emperor, perhaps. A king, a gentleman, not ideals, but a man known for his untruths.
Please join me in thanking Zero Boy, and as always, thank you for joining us and making it possible for us to celebrate together. Looking ahead to celebrations in the future, on March 31st, on the eve of National Poetry Month, we have an exciting lineup of poets who will kick off the national celebration here at Metropolitan, finding connections, as we like to do, between their work and poems throughout American history. And this Saturday at 8, the best known but seldom performed piece from a favorite playwright of the Metropolitan repertoire, Neath Boyce's Winter's Night, where visions of a future after hardship tragically collide. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Until then, and as always, be well, stay safe, and love one another. Have a great evening.